All right, welcome back to Eyes Open Media. All right, so James on here posted this about 19 hours ago, and I did see it, and I was like, this is interesting. It's the Kurdistan region. It's not Baghdad. It's not the CBI. It's the Kurdistan region. So, Kurdistan region is always usually ahead of the curve, always usually ahead of Baghdad. Remember, the Kurdistan region, they already launched their economic reforms, I believe. Remember that meeting when the United Nations was there, and they were the lady was so happy and almost and like crying and very emotional because it was a historic day for the Kurdistan region as they were launching their economic reforms. And then we told you that we want to see Iraq do the exact same thing. Okay, and that day will be an emotional day for the IMF, United Nations, the BIS, the World Bank, and everybody else, right? So we saw it for the Kurdistan region. So, and that was like a year maybe ago, maybe around this time last year. This is when they launched their economic reforms. So hopefully we see Baghdad do the same thing. Yeah, I can't remember the time when Kurdistan launched their economic reforms, but if it was last September, that would be really interesting, wouldn't it? Anyways, so here you see that this RT Bank has Mastercard on there. So it looks like let's go to the actual site, and here's their site, and it's in the Kurdistan area, and you can come down here and see that it's Kurdistan because it says here contact, and then there's the street address, and there's the area. Okay, Erbil, Kurdistan region, Iraq. Okay, so you can it says about us here, and then also you can find out more. You can also contact them or email them. So maybe some of you guys could email them today and say, wait a minute, how could you be selling international cards like a Mastercard on a program rate? You know what I mean? So you can go ahead and ask them that. I want at least five people to email them and ask them that. And if you guys that are in that region, in Iraqi region, or in that Middle Eastern region, you can call them. Go ahead and call them, okay, and let them and find out what's going on. Why can they sell or be able to? Why are people able to use these type of cards on a program rate in the country when these are international cards? You have to have free capital flow to be able to use these types of international cards. So you're telling me that Iraqis can leave the country and swipe their credit cards on a program rate? The country doesn't have a free capital flow, so they're restricted. Okay, they're not Article 8 compliance. They're out of Chapter 7, but they're not Article 8 compliance, removing the MCP and free capital flow. So they shouldn't be able to use international cards because their currency is not international free flowing. It's international because I can buy it and you can buy it around the world, but it's not international free flowing, okay, to be able to come in and out because they're on a program rate and they don't have Article 8 compliance. And they're also under the MCP as well. So yeah, so maybe you guys can hit them up and find out what is this all about? You know, can I click on any of this? No. Oh, well, let me see here. Says terms and conditions for the card. Well, it doesn't tell me it doesn't tell me to buy the card. It has the terms and conditions for the card, but it doesn't tell me. Let me see here. The minimum limit of the card will be USD 1,000, and maximum limit of the it will be USD 50,000. I would love to see that in IQD instead. So I don't want to see USD. I want to see IQD. So if they're using the card in USD, then that's a different story, right? So because USD is international and they can use the card international with the USD. But I want to see this in IQD. If I see it in IQD, then we have a problem, right? But it's in USD. Okay. So that explains more. It's in USD, but still, you're still having international cards and your country has a national program rate. That's ridiculous. And get off the USD, please. Goodness gracious. National Alliance reveals a paper solution that will end the differences between Baghdad and Erbil. Tonight is the night that they're supposed to announce these paper agreements to each other. So we'll see if that happens tonight. Okay. Says sources revealed the items of the solution to the outstanding problem between the federal government and the Kherson region, which will be presented to the Kherson delegation negotiation tonight evening during their upcoming meeting. Hold on. What was that yesterday? Okay, so this was yesterday. Okay, this was yesterday. So it looks like they had a meeting yesterday night, and wait a minute. It says after the meeting held last Wednesday between the National Alliance and the Kherson negotiation delegation, the two parties agreed to hold a meeting this evening to provide each party a paper solution to the outstanding problems between the Baghdad and Erbil. Okay, so that was last night. So last night they held a meeting. They presented two sides. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Says the source confirmed that the coalition paper is free of the referendum issue because the National Alliance considers talking about the referendum outside scope and constitutional space, noting that the coalition rejects the original idea as a referendum without constitutional or legal cover. Okay. So I don't know what happened between that, because I think Baghdad delegation has, I mean, Erbil delegation has gone back to Erbil, and the meetings have stopped and closed, and I don't think anything has happened. I did see something from Barzani saying, "America, we are going forward with the referendum voting on the 25th of September." Okay, so and that was yesterday. He said that, I believe. So yeah, so we'll see what happens, guys and girls. It's getting kind of interesting. They're trying to make some deals here, so the Kurds don't go independent. Because if they do vote independence, then they're going independence. There's nothing Iraq will be able to do with that, and this is the position we said we wanted to be in. We thought we were going to be in this position in September 2015, and the Kurds backed out. This time, Barzani saying he's going forward. He want, if his wish is to go independent for the Kurds, and then he can retire. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, if they get the Article 140 and the oil and gas herbal agreement, and they launch the economic reforms in the month of September, then they will back away from that, and they'll be good to go. But if they don't, they're going forward for independence, and we'll see what happens from there. Like I said, this should scare the crap out of Iraq. They don't want to lose the Kherson region, but if they do, then that's on them. And they lost the Kherson region because they couldn't activate Article 140 and give them an herbal agreement and launch the economic reforms that is going to benefit their country. Then that's on them. And then we don't know what's going to happen after that. If that does take place and Kurds go independent without an RV, without an economic reform, we're in big trouble, guys and girls. I'm just gonna say that we will be in big trouble. Okay, so let's see what happens. Eyes open. The next 5 weeks are going to be amazing. It could be amazing bad, or it could be amazing good. But this is how we were supposed to be in 2015, and the Kurds backed out. Now we're going full forward, and I hope Baghdad and America say, you know what, just give them everything they want. Please, golly, do not let them go independent. And let's see what happens. Because this is what I was saying in 2015. The Kurds are going to get everything they asked for, or they're going independent. Let's see what happens. Eyes open.